The ballroom buzzed with quiet conversations, but all I could hear was my own heartbeat. I adjusted my tie and forced a smile as guests walked past the display model my company had designed for the charity auction. "Relax," Noah said, nudging my shoulder. "You look like you're about to defend your final exam." I laughed weakly. "Maybe I am. You've presented bigger projects than this." "I know. Then what's wrong?" Before I could answer, my eyes drifted across the room. Everything stopped. A woman stood near the stage, laughing softly as she thanked an elderly couple for their donation. Her smile hit me like a forgotten song. My chest tightened. "No," I whispered. "What?" Noah asked. "It can't be." She turned slightly, and the lights caught her face. "Lily," I breathed. 14 years disappeared in a single second. I was 12 again, standing beside the river where we promised we would never forget each other. "I'll always remember you," she had said. "I promise the same," I had answered. Now she was here. Without thinking, I walked toward her. "Ethan," Noah called. "Where are you going?" "I have to." Every step felt unreal. My hands trembled. When I finally stood in front of her, she looked into my eyes with calm curiosity. I smiled. "Lily." She blinked once. "Hi," she replied politely. My smile grew wider. "I can't believe it's really you." She tilted her head. "I'm sorry." "It's me." I laughed nervously. "Ethan. We grew up together." Silence. She studied my face as if searching for something. Then she offered a professional smile. "My name is Lily Morgan." "I know. It's nice to meet you." I frowned. "Lily, stop joking. I'm afraid I don't understand. You seriously don't recognize me?" Several guests glanced toward us. She looked at them before returning her attention to me. "I'm sorry," she said gently. "Have we met before?" Her words struck harder than any punch. I couldn't breathe. "You don't remember?" She shook her head. "I think you're confusing me with someone else." My throat tightened. "No," I whispered. "That's impossible." She remained polite, but her eyes revealed nothing I recognized. The girl who once knew every secret I carried now looked at me like I had never existed. I stood there, unable to speak, while the room around us slowly filled with an unbearable silence. I forced myself to step back before my emotions embarrassed both of us. "I'm sorry," I said quietly. "I must have surprised you." "You don't need to apologize," she replied with the same calm smile. "I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening." Those words felt colder than winter. She turned and greeted another guest as if our conversation had never happened. I stood frozen. "Ethan." Noah's voice pulled me back. He reached my side and frowned. "What happened?" I don't know. You look like you've seen a ghost." "In a way, I have." He guided me toward a quieter corner. "Talk to me." "I found Lily." "The Lily?" I nodded. "The girl you always told me about." "Yes." "What did she say?" I stared at the floor. "She asked if we'd ever met." Noah stayed silent for a long moment. "Maybe she honestly didn't recognize you." I called her name. "People change." "Not like this." He rested a hand on my shoulder. "Don't jump to conclusions. There could be a reason." I wanted to believe him, but my heart refused. After the event ended, I drove home in complete silence. My mother looked up from her book as I entered. "You're home early." I wasn't in the mood to stay. She studied my face. "What happened?" "I met someone. Someone important. The most important person from my childhood." Her expression softened. "Lily." I nodded. "Did she remember you?" I laughed once, without joy. "No." She waited patiently. She introduced herself like we were strangers. My mother sighed and poured me a cup of tea. Life sometimes hides answers until we're ready to hear them. "I don't want riddles." "I know. I just want the truth." She squeezed my hand. Then don't let pain become your only guide. Later that night, I stood by my bedroom window, holding the small wooden marble Lily had once won for me at a summer fair. I kept my promise, I whispered. Why didn't you keep yours? Miles away, hidden inside a dark parking lot, I saw Lily through the open doorway as I passed on my way home. She leaned against her car, covering her face with shaking hands. Between quiet sobs, I heard the words carried by the night air. Ethan. She pressed a trembling hand against her mouth. I'm so sorry. Then she cried harder, making me realize that whatever had happened between us was far more painful than simple forgetfulness. I barely slept after the charity event. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard Lily's voice asking, "Have we met before?" It replayed again and again until morning finally arrived. Noah dropped a cup of coffee onto my desk. You look terrible. I feel worse. You've been staring at that blueprint for 10 minutes. I haven't read a single line. He pulled up a chair. Then stop pretending you're working. Tell me what you're thinking. I rubbed my forehead. I need answers. And if the answers hurt? They already do. He sighed. Fine. We'll find out what happened. You'll help me. He smiled. I've watched you carry her memory for 14 years. I'm not letting you do this alone. That afternoon we searched through public records, company websites, and old news articles. Noah pointed at his laptop. Found something. What is it? Lily Morgan works for Harper Development. Harper Development. One of the biggest real estate companies in the city. I frowned. Who's running it? He scrolled farther. Daniel Harper. The company profile appeared on the screen. A confident man in an expensive suit smiled beside the company logo. He doesn't look friendly, I muttered. You've never even met him. I don't know why, but something feels wrong. Noah leaned back. Maybe you're just overthinking. Maybe. Still, the uneasy feeling stayed with me. The next evening I waited outside Harper Development as employees began leaving the building. My heart skipped when Lily walked through the glass doors. I stepped forward. Lily. She stopped. For just a second, surprise flashed across her face before her expression became calm again. Good evening. I was hoping we could talk. I'm afraid I'm busy. It'll only take a minute. She glanced toward the parking lot. What would you like to discuss? Our childhood. I'm sorry, she answered softly. I think you're mistaken. You really don't remember the old river outside Mapletown. Her fingers tightened around her handbag. I noticed it immediately. The river. I continued. The wooden bridge. The tree where we carved our names. She looked away. I'm late. Lily. She took a slow breath. I hope you have a good evening. She walked past me, but her steps were slower than before. She remembered something. I was certain of it. As she reached her car, she paused for only a heartbeat. Without turning around, she whispered so quietly I almost missed it. Please, stop. Then she got inside and drove away, leaving me standing alone with more questions than answers. I stood there long after Lily's car disappeared. Please, stop. Those 2 words stayed with me all the way home. The next morning, my phone buzzed. Ethan, it's Noah. I'm awake. I found someone. Who? Claire Morgan. Lily's sister. Yes. She agreed to meet you. My pulse quickened. When? An hour from now. We met at a quiet cafe across town. Claire arrived wearing a grey coat and dark sunglasses. She looked at me for a long moment before sitting down. You haven't changed much, she said. You remember me. I never forgot. Then tell me why Lily acts like I'm a stranger. She lowered her eyes. I can't. Claire, please. I'm serious. I deserve the truth. She shook her head. The truth isn't only about you anymore. What does that mean? I can't explain. Is someone forcing her? Silence. Is she in danger? She closed her eyes for a second. You need to stop looking for her. I can't. You have to. Give me one reason. I can't. I leaned forward. Claire, she's hurting. I saw it. She looked genuinely shocked. You saw her? She was crying after the charity event. Claire's lips trembled. I shouldn't have come. She stood. Wait. She paused without facing me. If you care about Lily, walk away before someone gets hurt. Then she left. Her warning only made me more determined. That evening, I noticed a black sedan parked across from my apartment. The same car appeared again outside my office the following day. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe it wasn't. I remembered Daniel Harper's face from the company website and couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. When I finally reached home, I searched through old boxes in my closet, hoping to calm my restless mind. At the bottom of one dusty box, I found a small wooden music box wrapped inside a faded blue scarf. My hand shook as I opened it. The soft melody filled my room. Instantly, I was back beside the river. I'll keep this forever, young Lily had said. And every time you hear it, I had answered, you'll remember me. I promise. A tear rolled down my cheek. I closed the lid and slipped the music box into my pocket. Later that night, while walking through the city park, I heard the same melody again. A street performer was playing it on an old hand-cranked music box. I froze. Across the street, Lily stopped walking. Her shoulders stiffened. She covered her mouth with both hands. No, she whispered. Then the tears came. She broke down completely, crying as though years of pain had finally found a voice, and I realized the melody hadn't erased our past. It had awakened something she had been desperately trying to hide. I couldn't ignore Claire's warning anymore. The next morning, I called her. Claire. She was silent for a few seconds. You shouldn't have called. I'm not giving up. I told you to walk away. I can't. Not until someone tells me the truth. You won't like it. I stopped looking for easy answers the day Lily looked through me like I didn't exist. Another long silence followed. Finally, she whispered, meet me at Riverside Medical Center. Come alone. I'll be there. An hour later, I found Claire waiting near the hospital entrance. You came, she said. I promised I would. She looked exhausted. I wish you hadn't. Then tell me why. She took a slow breath. Follow me. We walked through quiet hallways until she stopped outside a small office. A nameplate read, Dr. Samuel Ross, Neurology. Claire knocked softly. Come in, a calm voice answered. A grey-haired doctor looked up from his desk. You must be Ethan. I am. He motioned toward a chair. Please sit. I remained standing. I didn't come for coffee or small talk. Claire sighed. Ethan. No, I deserve the truth. Dr. Ross nodded slowly. You do. He folded his hands. Several years ago, Lily was involved in a serious car accident. My heart dropped. What? She survived, but she suffered a traumatic brain injury. I struggled to speak. Why didn't anyone tell me? You had already lost contact with her family. I clenched my fists. What happened afterward? The physical injuries healed. And the neurological damage was more complicated. I frowned. What does that mean? Her memory became unstable. I stared at him. She forgot me. Not exactly. He opened a medical file. Most everyday memories slowly returned. Then why does she act like we've never met? He looked directly into my eyes. Because your memories were different. I felt my heartbeat quicken. I don't understand. You weren't simply a childhood friend. I know that. You were tied to her strongest emotions. I swallowed hard. So, whenever those emotional memories surfaced, her brain reacted violently. Violently. Severe headaches. Panic attacks. Confusion. Sometimes she collapsed. No. I'm afraid it's true. I shook my head. That can't be happening. Claire wiped away a tear. I watched it happen. I looked at her. You knew all this? Yes. And you still told me to leave. Her voice broke. Because every time she remembered you, she suffered. The room suddenly felt too small. I lowered myself into the chair. Everything inside me began falling apart. The woman I believed had abandoned me had been fighting a battle I never knew existed. But one question still refused to leave my mind. If that's the truth, I asked quietly, why does she pretend not to know me instead of simply telling me what happened? Dr. Ross looked at Claire before answering. It wasn't her decision alone. What do you mean? I asked. Claire lowered her head. After Lily's treatment began, the medical bills became impossible for us. So, Daniel Harper's family paid for everything. My stomach tightened. And they wanted something in return. Dr. Ross nodded. They convinced Lily that reconnecting with you could trigger another serious episode. They also told her your life would be put at risk if she ignored their advice. I stared at him. She believed them. She was frightened, he replied. She thought staying away was the only way to protect you. I covered my face with my hands. For 14 years, she carried that alone. I'm sorry, Claire whispered. Anger burned inside me. Daniel lied to her. He manipulated her fears, Dr. Ross said carefully. Before I could respond, my phone vibrated. An unknown number. I answered. Hello. A soft voice spoke. My name is Emma. Emma. I'm Lily's closest friend. How did you get my number? Claire gave it to me. I glanced toward Claire. She gave a small nod. I need you to know something, Emma continued. What is it? Lily never threw away your letters. My breath caught. What? She keeps every one of them in a small wooden box. You're sure? I've seen her read them many times. My eyes filled with tears. Then she remembered. Emma's voice trembled. She never stopped loving the boy who wrote them. The call ended, but hope returned for the first time. As I stepped outside the hospital, a young woman approached me holding a folder. Are you Ethan Carter? Yes. I'm Olivia Reed. I don't think we've met. We haven't. What do you want? I'm an investigative journalist. She handed me the folder. Daniel Harper isn't the man everyone believes he is. I opened it slowly. Inside were copies of financial records, photographs, and witness statements. What is all this? Evidence. Evidence of what? Fraud. Blackmail. Intimidation. I looked up. You're serious? I've been investigating his family for months. Why tell me? Because Lily's name appeared more than once. My heart sank again. This isn't only about forgotten memories, is it? Olivia shook her head. No, it's about power. And fear. And control. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about everything I had learned. Before going home, I walked past Lily's apartment building. A light glowed through one window. The curtains were slightly open. I saw Lily sitting alone at a small desk. She carefully unfolded an old piece of paper. Even from a distance, I recognized my handwriting. It was the first letter I had ever written to her. She smiled through her tears, pressed the letter against her heart, and whispered words I would never forget. I never forgot you. I barely slept after seeing Lily hold my old letter against her heart. The next morning, I called Olivia. I'll help you. I was hoping you'd say that, she replied. What do you need from me? Everything you know about Daniel Harper. I don't know much. You know Lily. That's enough. It might be. An hour later, I sat across from Olivia in her office. She spread several folders across the table. These families all have one thing in common, she said. They borrowed money from the Harper Foundation. She nodded. They accepted financial help during medical emergencies. Like Lily. Exactly. I opened another file. What happened to them? They were pressured into silence. About what? Fraud. Illegal property deals. Threats. My jaw tightened. So Daniel wasn't helping them. He was controlling them. The words hit me harder than I expected. I looked up. How long has this been happening? Years. And nobody stopped him. People were afraid. I closed the folder. Not anymore. Olivia smiled. That's why I asked for your help. Later that afternoon, I waited outside Harper Development again. This time, Daniel walked out before Lily did. He stopped in front of me. So you're Ethan Carter. I know who you are. I've heard a lot about you. I wish I could say the same. He smiled politely, but his eyes stayed cold. You've been following one of my employees. I'm trying to speak with someone I care about. You mean Lily? Yes. He stepped closer. She doesn't want you in her life. Did she tell you that? I don't need her to. I met his stare. You're lying. His smile faded. Walk away. No. You're reopening wounds she spent years trying to close. I'll let Lily decide that. His voice hardened. You have no idea what you're destroying. I think I do. For the first time, I saw irritation break through his calm expression. Before he could answer, Lily walked out of the building. She froze the moment she saw us. Daniel. He turned toward her. It's nothing. I shook my head. It isn't nothing. Lily looked between us. Ethan, please. I only want the truth. Daniel interrupted. He's manipulating you. No, I answered. I'm asking questions. Daniel faced Lily again. He isn't here because he loves you. My heart sank. Don't do this. He's here because he blames you for his pain. That's not true. He wants revenge. Lily's hands began trembling. She looked at me with frightened eyes. Ethan. I took one careful step forward. Lily, listen to me. But before I could say another word, Daniel placed himself between us. You should leave, he said quietly. I looked past him and met Lily's tear-filled eyes. For the first time, I realized Daniel wasn't just hiding the truth. He was terrified that Lily might finally remember it. I refused to leave. Daniel, I said, keeping my voice steady, move. He folded his arms. No. Lily deserves to hear the truth. I've protected her for years. You controlled her. His smile disappeared. You know nothing. Lily stepped between us. Stop. We both fell silent. She looked at Daniel first. Did you tell Ethan that I wanted him gone? Daniel hesitated. I did what was necessary. Answer me. Yes. She turned toward me. Ethan, did you really come here for revenge? I shook my head. No. Then why? Because I never stopped caring about you. Tears filled her eyes. Daniel reached for her arm. Don't listen to him. She gently pulled away. No. Lily. I said no. She pressed both hands against her temples. I keep hearing a river. Daniel stiffened. I see an old bridge, she whispered. I took one slow step closer. You remember. I hear music. The wooden music box. Her breathing became uneven. A promise. My voice trembled. You told me we'd never forget each other. She closed her eyes. Daniel raised his voice. He's confusing you. No. I shouted. Lily, look at me. She opened her eyes. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then she smiled through her tears. Ethan. Hearing my name from her lips felt like breathing after years underwater. I couldn't stop my own tears. You remembered. I never wanted to forget. Daniel looked stunned. Lily, you're making a mistake. She faced him. No. I made my mistake when I believed you. Before he could answer, Olivia walked toward us holding her phone. It's over, Daniel. He frowned. What are you talking about? My investigation was published 10 minutes ago. His face lost all color. You didn't. I did. She showed him the headlines. Evidence of fraud. Illegal property deals. Blackmail. Victims speaking publicly. Everything was there. Daniel grabbed the phone, but it was too late. His own phone began ringing. Then another. And another. He ignored every call. A black luxury car stopped nearby. Victor Harper stepped out. You idiot, he snapped. I can explain. No, you can't. Police cars entered the parking lot moments later. 2 officers walked toward us. Daniel Harper. He slowly turned around. Yes. You're under arrest for fraud, intimidation, and conspiracy. They placed him in handcuffs. Victor tried to leave, but another group of officers stopped him. Watching the Harper empire collapse felt unreal. Lily quietly moved beside me. I stole 14 years from us. You didn't. I was afraid. I know. She slowly reached for my hand. I don't know if you can forgive me. I looked at our hands before gently holding hers. I lost years too, I whispered, but I never lost hope. She squeezed my hand, and for the first time since finding her again, fear no longer stood between us. Several weeks passed after Daniel's arrest, yet every morning still felt unreal. Life had finally grown quiet. One afternoon, Lily and I sat outside Dr. Ross's office after her appointment. She smiled gently. He says I'm making progress. How do you feel? Lighter. Do you remember more? She looked down for a moment. Some things. And the rest? She shrugged. Maybe they'll come back. If they don't. She reached for my hand. Then we'll make new memories. Her answer stayed with me long after we left the hospital. That evening, I found my mother watering flowers in the backyard. She smiled when she saw me. You look happier. I think I am. You think? I laughed softly. I'm still trying to understand everything. She put the watering can aside. Sit with me. We sat beneath the old maple tree. I keep asking myself one question, I admitted. What question? Can I truly forgive everything we lost? She looked toward the sunset before answering. Do you blame Lily? No. Then who do you blame? Daniel. And yourself. I hesitated. A little. She nodded knowingly. You couldn't save her. I should have been there. You were only a boy. I still feel like I failed. She gently squeezed my shoulder. Real love isn't measured by perfect memories. It isn't. It's measured by what survives hardship. I quietly repeated her words. What survives hardship? She smiled. You and Lily are still standing. For the first time, I stopped seeing the lost years as empty. Maybe they had simply been part of a longer journey. The next afternoon, Noah burst into my office without knocking. I have excellent news. What happened? Claire invited us to dinner. I raised an eyebrow. Us? Well, mostly you. I laughed. That sounds more accurate. He leaned against my desk. You know something. What? It only took 14 years for you two to finish one childhood conversation. I couldn't help laughing. You're impossible. I know. His smile faded into something more sincere. I'm happy for you. Thanks. You deserve this. Later that evening, I arrived at Claire's house. She opened the door before I knocked. Come in. You seem different. I feel different. She looked toward the dining room where Lily was helping prepare dinner. I carried guilt for too many years. You were protecting her. I kept telling myself that. And now? Claire smiled through watery eyes. I'm finally ready to stop living in fear. Before I could answer, Lily walked into the hallway. She looked at me and smiled. Not with uncertainty. Not with confusion. Just warmth. "You're late," she teased. I smiled back. I wanted to make an entrance. She laughed. The sound filled the house with something I had missed for 14 long years. Hope. A few days later, Lily called me. "Can you meet me?" "Where?" "By the river." "The old one?" "Yes." "I'll be there." When I arrived, the water moved as gently as it had years ago. Lily stood beside the old bridge, smiling as the evening sun reflected across the river. "You came," she said. "I always would." She laughed softly. I think a part of me always knew that. We walked together until we reached the old tree where we had carved our initials as children. The carving was faded, but it was still there. Lily touched the bark. "I don't remember every detail." "You don't have to." "I wish I did." I shook my head. I used to believe our memories were the most important thing. And now? Now I think our choices matter more. She looked at me with quiet curiosity. "You still choose me?" "Every day." Tears filled her eyes. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small wrapped box. "I have something for you." "What is it?" "Open it." I carefully unwrapped the paper. Inside was a beautiful wooden music box. My hands trembled. "It isn't the old one," she said. "I wanted this one to mean something different." I opened the lid. A gentle melody filled the air. "It's beautiful." The old music box reminded us of a promise from the past. She smiled through tears. "This one is for the future." I closed the lid and looked at her. "I don't need the past back." "You don't." "I already have the person I wanted." She covered her mouth, trying not to cry. "I'm sorry for the years we lost." "We both lost them. Can you forgive me?" I stepped closer and took both of her hands. There was nothing to forgive. "I pretended not to know you. You were protecting me." "I was afraid." "I know. And you stayed anyway." "I promised I would." She leaned her forehead against mine. "I love you, Ethan." My heart felt lighter than it had in years. "I love you too." For a moment, neither of us spoke. The river carried the same peaceful sound I remembered from childhood, yet everything felt new. I realized love was never about remembering every conversation, every birthday, or every promise perfectly. Love was choosing the same person, even after pain, even after fear, even after life tried to pull two hearts apart. I slipped the new music box into my pocket and gently held Lily's hand. "Ready?" I asked. She smiled. "Ready." Together we walked away from the river without looking back. The past would always be part of us, but it no longer controlled us. Daniel's lies had fallen apart. Fear had lost its power. Truth had finally found its voice. As we stepped toward an uncertain future, I understood something I would never forget. Some promises are not kept because memories survive. They are kept because love does.